Hello, Crafty Peeps. Welcome to our first November Craftology box tutorial. And today I'm going to be doing a 12 by 12. And one of my favorite things to do at Christmas time is bake with my kids. So I thought, why not make a 12 by 12 layout involving baking? Even though this paper collection is not baking, it's still holiday. So I'm going to tell you a little things that I'm going to add in here that will kind of help this look more like baking, okay? So the first thing is that our paper collection is called Simple Stories Very Merry, and I really love it. So basically I use some of the 12 by 12, and then also from the add-on kit, I have our 6 by 8 paper pad. So I've used a few sheets in that. Also, I'm going to be using our sticker collection. And this is one of the add-ons also is the Very Merry chipboard stickers. Now, just to let y'all know, our stickers will be a little bit different. They come in sheets, so they're just, everybody may have something a little bit different, I'm not sure. Oh, and also I used one of the pine cones from our little button collection. And then I'm going to show you some of the dies that I've used, okay? Now, I know that Tamara has a bunch of dies in her store, and she also has some that are on our add-on kit. So, first of all, mine is just this cheap Chinese die, okay? And I used the mason jar. But I know that they have a Echo Park Happiness is Homemade, let me see what it's called. Happiness is Homemade die set, sweet like sugar. Okay, so that has this little jar on there. So just want to let you know, since I don't have that one, I don't want to lie to you and say that's what I use and then y'all know I didn't. Okay, then also she has this Echo Park designer die that says delicious baked and homemade. And I believe that this is also part of the Happiness is Homemade collection because she sent this to me last year. And then she had I mean, there's so many cute dies. It's incredible, okay? And then here is a little edge die that I used by Spellbinders, and this one's called Edge Abilities Mix and Match Classics. And this was an E as an egg, 8-006, and I used two of these, which would be these two right here. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I am missing. I don't think I'm going to use any of the ribbons in this set, but I will be back in just a moment and we'll get started. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is I'm using, Tamara sells this in her store, thin chipboard. I just like to back mine up with this, and also her Barn Red Artisan cardstock. I really like this one, and I didn't want to use up a whole 12 by 12 sheet of my decorated paper because I have a lot of things that I want to make with this collection. So I'll be right back and we'll get started. So for the first thing I'm going to do on this tutorial is I'm going to give you the measurements. And then I will go quiet and then we'll kind of speed through this so that we don't have like an all-day tutorial, okay? Again, I'm using my 12 by 12 chipboard and one of the Barn Red 12 by 12 artisan cardstock, okay? So I'm going to put that to the side for the moment so I can show you the rest. One of my sheets of paper, this comes from the smaller 6 by 8 paper pad. This is, or maybe it's not, I don't know. Let me look at the back of it. Yeah, it is. Okay, 6 by 8, obviously. And what I want to do is I want to make this look like a recipe card, okay? So, or a file card is more or less what I'm going to do. Tamara showed me this trick. If you have a round paper punch and the We Are Memories Keeper punch board, this really helps out a lot. So what I did was I took one of the smaller sheets of the 6 by 8 paper and then some of the red artisan cardstock, and I kind of doubled up on this, okay? And then I just slightly glued this together like a skew. I don't know if you can really see that, but I did. Okay, so I kind of like the word baked, and now I want to make it look like there is a little file folder tab. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to round my corner right here. So I'm just going to use that real quick. And I think I might leave these straight. And then I'm just going to measure here where I should have this about. I'm going to move this down about, we're going to say 3 1/8. So that is right there. And then I'm going to get out my cutting board. And go ahead and trim off this portion right here. I'm just going to line it up so it's straight. And then there we go. So I'm just going to leave it, well, you know what, I'm going to go down just a little bit more. For some odd reason, I'm going to go about 16, well, no, I'm lying, not even a 1/16 of an inch. Oops. There we go. Has a little better dip now. Of course, that kind of messed up my corner there. All right, guys, I'm going to take off a little bit more, not because I want to, but because I messed up there at that end. And it's all jagged. So I'm going to have to get out my scissors now and fix it. Just kind of angle it up just like how it is. I'm turning this into a hot mess, aren't I? Gosh, you just don't want to go straight, huh? Okay. I don't even know if I really like that now, but I might be able to repunch that, but I think we'll just stick with how it is. I don't want to make it worse. Okay, so now at this point, I can go ahead and either you can take up the whole spot, which is what I was thinking of doing, but I really don't know yet. So I guess I'm not going to glue this on yet. We'll wait. I'm going to put this to the side. Then I use some of Tamara's cream colored linen cardstock. And I cut this at 4.5 by 9 inches. And then I took off, this is not 9 inches. This is a little bit more than 9. This is about 9 1/8. So excuse me, 9 1/8. And then I took off a 1/16 of an inch on both sides. Okay, so that's where you see it's not exactly lined up at 4.5. Okay. Then I took another one of the 12 by 12 cardstocks, and this one I cut at 4 3/4 by 9 3/8. And then I took some of the smaller 6 by 8s, and I cut these at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then took off a 1/16 of an inch on 2 sides. So here and here, okay? I know I'm really worried about the 1/16 of an inch, but I want to make sure I have a decent sized border. Then I took another 12 by 12 and I cut it from 3 inches by 11.5. Okay. And then also I cut out some of these little, I think these were the 3 by 4s, or was it 4.5? Yeah, 3 by 4s. Here is the chipboard that I'm going to use. I love the Welcome Kringle's Bed and Breakfast. Thought that was cute. We have our snowman, our Santa Claus snowman. Oh my goodness. And then here is the die that I used. And this was, I had to use one of the 12 by 12s, and I used a candy cane stripe. And then I kind of used a little bit of black distress ink along the sides just to make it stand out a little bit. Okay, and then here is what I ended up doing with my little mason jar. I actually layered this 3 times with a gray cardstock, and then I used my stickles, and I just kind of brushed my silver stickles on there. Then I also used some paints by Shimmers that are like watercolors. So if you have like a gray watercolor, that would be perfect as well. Or even if you have a gray spray, that would be perfect as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be quiet now and shut up. And we'll get started.